today, it's Kirsty Webeck.
Hey legends, I was in the supermarket recently and a small child yelled out at me, "Hey, you look like a man." And I said, "Can you please tell that to my boss so it's reflected in my pay?" Oh, thank you, I appreciate that, but it wasn't that tough actually. If that had been a grown-up, I would have been like, "Oh, righto, mate, thanks for the feedback." But when faced with a small child, just boom! Just went full Jermaine Greer in the cereal aisle. In your face! Not that tough. I moved house recently. Terrible job. Worst job, isn't it? We hate moving house. It's so bad. I thought I hated moving house more than anyone else in the world. But I'll tell you who does. Removalists. They hate it so hard. From the second you call up the company and you're like, "Hey, yeah, I'm moving house in a couple of weeks and I was hoping you could help out." They're like, "When?" You're never going to meet a removalist who's like, "It's a vocation. I didn't choose to be a removalist, it chose me. But the signs were all there when I was about 6 years old. Mum came into the lounge and saw me stacking and unstacking boxes." She knew. She knew. And another time, Dad came home from work and saw me nudging the fridge across the kitchen with my shoulder. He knew. Yeah, he knew. And another time, Granddad came out of the study and saw me scraping the paint off the hallway walls with a microwave. He knew. He knew. You're never going to hear it. So I've moved house and I've done all the things you're meant to do when you move house. Like I've found the good cafe with the good coffee because I'm that wanker now. I've found the good parks to cruise around. I've just made that sound really sinister, but I just like a walk in a park. And I've moved in opposite a gym and I've joined the gym because I'm trying to get back my pre-baby body and I was a particularly small fetus. It's a journey, but I'm committed. Now, just before I moved house, I had one final conversation with the elderly woman who lived in my old street, right? We had this beautiful friendship for like 18 months. She was about 117 years old. Her name's Maria, and we chat in the cul-de-sac every day. And she's like that Snoopy neighbour off soap operas that's always peering out through the curtains and knows everyone's business. Like she can tell you what Daryl at number 7's resting heart rate is after 3 burpees. She knows it all. And she was always really concerned about my relationship status, right? Like not as worried as I am, but quite worried. And she came up to me just before I moved house and she said, "Do you know what you should do, Kirsty? You should go on a date with my son." And I immediately tried to cast my mind back to a time that I'd heard a worse idea and couldn't. And then I was like, "Oh no," like this is a bit sad, but I was like, "Oh no, like Maria's from a different generation. Like I've got to tell her the news. Like I've got to tell her what's up, right? And she might not like this, right? She might not like what she's about to hear." And then I was thinking, I don't even know how to come out anymore. Like, I don't even know how to verbally do that. I pay a barber $40 a month to do it for me. So I'm like, all right, here we go. So I'm stalling in the cul-de-sac with Maria and I'm like, "Oh, Maria, oh. And then I say to myself, "Stop being a bear. Like, put your arms down and rip it off like a Band-Aid." And I go, "No, Maria, I'm gay." And it was so beautiful because I thought she was going to hate it, but the opposite thing happened and her whole face lit up. And she went, "That's okay, so is he." And I was like, what? Like, it was like being in the worst choose-your-own adventure I've ever been involved in. Like, turn to page 5 if you want Maria to confuse the fuck out of you. And then I got it and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's what she's done." And I go, "No, Maria, I'm a gay woman." And that's when she turned on me. She was livid, like I just ruined her entire future. And she goes, "Oh, well, that's not going to work, is it?" And I said, "No, Maria, it won't. Our families will never approve." And then there was this look over her eyes and I know that she was like, "Oh no, this is no good. This hasn't gone well." And she goes, "Look, I'm so sorry, I'm an old woman, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just that you look a little bit like a man. And I said, Maria, can you please tell that to my boss so it's reflected in my pay? You've been awesome. Thanks so much for having me.